Hello and welcome to LaRosa Reads. I'm Denise LaRosa and today I'm sharing all of my May reads with you lovelies. Let's talk books. So May was an okay reading month for me and I'm excited to share those reads with you even if they didn't wow me. So let's dive in. The first two books that I read were for my new series called Moonlit Pages, where I read books that have a similar vibe to various Michael Jackson songs. And then I asked myself after reading the book, did this book truly match the vibe of the Michael Jackson song or did it not? Those books that I read in May to launch this series were Gone Girl and The Alchemist. I speak about both of these books at length in that Moonlit Pages video, so if you haven't checked it out already, please do so after you watch this video, of course. My daughter Natalie happened to spot a book that was on a display at our local library, and I thought to myself, yes, girl, you know your mama, and I think this is going to be quite the read. And it was Everything I Learned at a Chinese Restaurant by Curtis Chin. This is a memoir about a man who grew up as Chinese American born in Detroit. His family has a restaurant and it's been passed along from generation to generation. And he shares anecdotes, wonderful moments, if you will, of being in that restaurant and immersing himself in the culture known as Detroit, where various people across differences came through that Chinese restaurant, everyone from the mayor of Detroit to sex workers to family friends and so on and so forth. Now, this Chinese American born man also discovered early in his life that he is indeed gay. And this was something that he kept hidden for a long, long time. And keep in mind, this guy grew up in the 70s and 80s and the AIDS epidemic was very well in the media, and there were lots of things going on that gave us a different environment for the LGBTQ plus community back then compared to today, although there's still a lot of work left to be done. So he shares that side of himself as well. It was truly a delicious read. I'm so corny, but it's okay. And I was so excited to read the fourth installment of the Finlay Donovan series, Finlay Donovan Rolls the Dice. Now, Finlay is our main character. However, I am here for Vero. I am a Vero fan through and through. So those of you who are Finlay Donovan fans know already. If you don't, Finlay Donovan is killing it. It's the first book in the series. Finlay Donovan Rolls the Dice is book number 4. Book 1 was hugely successful, such a commercial success. I have found that people have fallen off the Finlay Donovan train because each book was just dragging the same storyline on and on. Things weren't getting resolved. Well, I encourage you to stick with it and read books 2, 3, and 3.5 because book 4 indeed ties everything up with a bow, a bloody bow, if you know what I mean. But Finlay, Vero, they're hopping on a journey to decompress after a crazy experience at a police academy for citizens in their town. Read book 3. It's just too much to explain. But they decide to go on a road trip to try to work through Vero's money problems, where she owes someone a lot of money in Atlantic City. Well, Finlay's mom and her ex-husband and her children join them on this trip, and chaos ensues as it always does. The ending, y'all, is letting us know that the next couple of books have new adventures in store for Finlay and Vero. So I definitely still recommend the Finlay Donovan series. Finlay Donovan Rolls the Dice delivered. I was thrilled and honored to be the moderator for not one, but 2 panel discussions for the Greater Pittsburgh Festival of Books. And I had the time of my life moderating the graphic novel panel with 3 incomparable authors, some who are just starting their journey, such as VP Anderson, and then 2 OGs Sheree Miller, and Terry Levinson. These three human beings were amazing to spend time with, and I spent more time with them through their books. The first one being Jess Jamie by Terry Levinson. I see this book series everywhere at my school. I don't think a week goes by where I don't see a student having one of Terry's books open and diving in and exploring. So Jamie, this cutie patootie, is having some friendship issues. She is still her quirky tween self, and her friend group is starting to mature and get into more mature fashions and interests. And Jamie is just Jamie. And there is one girl in this friend group who is especially prickly, and she is the leader who is basically showing the rest of the friend group how to live their best teen lives. And she is very judgy, including being very judgy of Jamie for not catching up to their more mature ways. This leaves Jamie feeling left out. Jamie is getting frustrated. And in this friend group is Jamie's best friend of many, many years. And it's breaking Jamie's heart to see her friend change her feelings towards her. And long story short, there's mess because these years are very messy for young people, but there is a nice ending. It was your typical coming of age book dealing with things that are very typical for this developmental age and stage. I had a good time. Sheree Miller is a favorite here at the La Rosa household. She has written a book titled Princess Hair that is a picture book that we love. I remember reading this to my daughters when they were like 2 and 4, and we just had so much fun with how Sheree reminded us young Black girls, actually Black girls young and old, how we can do so much with our hair, how versatile it is, how it exudes our personality. We can make ourselves feel so many different feels by just the way we decide to wear our hair. And now Sheree has decided to dive into graphic novels and middle grade worlds. And she starts off with book 1 of the Curlfriends series, Curlfriends, New in Town. I absolutely love this book. You will notice there is a bookmark because my oldest daughter, Gianna, is reading it, followed by Natalie, my youngest. We are huge fans of this book. So Charlie's dad is a member of the Air Force, and that means she has been traveling and living in so many different places, not just across America, but around the world. She finally settles down in a town where her father and mother grew up. And this is something that is happening because her father is retired from the Air Force and is deciding to resettle his roots in this familiar space. But it's not familiar to Charlie. Charlie is trying to make friends. She is constantly making adjustments to try to fit in these new spaces. And the stakes are high because this is going to be her permanent place. And so she decides to go about this in a very inauthentic way, looking at pictures of fashions and mimicking them, trying to be someone that she is not. And in the meantime, she does end up joining a friend group, and they feel like something's a little fishy. Like they feel like, is Charlie really giving us Charlie, or is she giving us somebody she thinks we want to hang out with? And so there's drama, there's wonderful learning opportunities. I love it. My oldest daughter loves it, and I know my youngest daughter will too. And the last book that I read in May was Sisters of the Lost Nation by Nick Medina. This was the Literally Dead book club selection from Kayla at Books and Lala. And I tell you guys, I'm so grateful to Kayla for introducing me to this author and to this book. We have an indigenous voice of a teenage girl whom I loved. I just love that so much because that is a voice that I don't really have in my reading repertoire that I desperately wanted to have. So this book fulfilled that desire, and what a book it was. So Anna lives on a reservation, and she has a sister who is making some poor choices. not only that, Anna is dealing with extensive bullying that is beyond disturbing. And keep in mind, this book takes place in the 90s. So the way schools address or don't address bullying is so disturbing, to say the very least. So she's dealing with these two situations that have her in such an emotional state. And then Anna's sister goes missing, like several other young girls on this reservation. They have a casino that has brought in a lot of visitors and a lot of money for this reservation, but it's also brought a lot more issues. When we think about more money, more problems, this story exemplifies that. The money coming into the res is also bringing a lot of trauma and pain, just sheer pain. And they're losing their culture as they knew it. And so Anna is fighting for her community to get back in touch with who they are. She's fighting to find her sister. And she's quite frankly fighting to find herself. This book was sweeping. I really, truly was swept away by every word. I thought the author did a wonderful job of addressing so many important and quite frankly difficult topics with care and attention. My goodness, you guys, I highly recommend this one. And he's got another book that is out that is connected to a character that is a part of Sisters of the Lost Nation. I definitely want to check that one out, and I highly recommend you check both of them out as well. All right, there you have it, friends, my May reads of 2024. What were you reading in May? I know it was a while ago, but get out that Goodreads or the Story Graph, scroll through and find those books, and just let me know, what was it like for you? I would love to hear from you in the comments, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!